Okay, I hear you. I'm about to go get Carson in a second. Will you chill? I'm pretty sure you got food. I'm pretty positive you got water. Did you get food in your water? Cats don't play about food being in their water. At least mine don't. Today is day 13. That's about good. Day 13. It's going to be a little different. I'm going to actually let you guys into my head a little bit and tell you why I'm doing this. I'm going to tell you why I'm excited about having 108 followers, I think is what it was. I'm going to explain to you why I'm so empowered by the fact that my views are not in the high numbers and why it's okay that I have just a few right now. Because either way, my whole point is for you to know I'm thinking about you. And I want you to understand I'm thinking about you all the time. And so I want you to watch. I want you to come. I want you to comment. I want you to like. When I put that on the videos, I'm not just saying it for no reason. I literally want to talk to you. Point blank. Let's see if I can get this a little bit thicker. I want to talk to you because I freaking poked myself in the eye. And of course, put the mascara all up under my eye. Okay, rule number 1, don't force your mascara to do what it really don't want to, because you'll be forcing it in some kind of way. You'll accidentally poke yourself in the eye. Okay, so I actually set you up today so you won't be a hazard. Where's my ear hole? I needed to have on some kind of earrings. Girl. It's not about what you don't have. It's about working with what you got. I know for a fact if you're watching this, you have life. It's a very, very important thing. It's a very special gift. You have life. Do you know how many people are dead and gone because they didn't understand how important it was for them to understand that they have life and that they are not dead and that they are not better off dead? It's important that you're here and you're here for a reason. Like, people really don't get what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, so I am in my room now, and I'm trying to be as comfortable as possible because the subject is very uncomfortable. I have very, very serious pet peeves. You saw how I felt about letting go of my vagina security shirt. So I have a very, very soft spot for any issues dealing with rape and molestation, dehumanization of women. I also have a very hard time dealing with teen suicide. Suicide in any form is very hard for me to deal with, but when you're talking about children taking their own lives, they didn't even get a chance yet. Like, they haven't even had time to even wait and see how it could have got better. So I have a hard time dealing with those things. And I decided to do a little research. And I was looking up some statistics because obviously these things that happen, they happen more than we actually allow ourselves to understand or believe. So, the youth suicide statistics. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for ages 10 through 24. I'm sorry, I am reading this information from the Parent Resource Program of the Jason Foundation. It's jasonfoundation.com. I will also go to another site as well so I can cross-reference and so you can see how organizations are actually trying to work to prevent and deal with coping. Noticing the warning signs that's very important to bringing down the rates. Okay, so suicide is the second leading cause of death for college-age youth and ages 12 through 18. More teenagers and young adults die from suicide than from cancer, heart disease, AIDS, birth defects, stroke, pneumonia, influenza, and chronic lung disease combined. Each day in our nation, there are an average of over 5,240 attempts by young people, grades 7 through 12. 7 through 12. 4 out of 5 teens who attempt suicide have given warning signs. And we'll get into warning signs in a minute. The Youth Risk Behavioral Surveillance System is a survey conducted by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and that includes national, state, local, school-based representative samples of 9th through 12th grade students. This is to monitor the priority health risk behaviors that contribute to the leading causes of death, disability, and social problems among youth in the United States. We'll get to those social issues in a minute too. The surveys are conducted every 2 years to determine the prevalence of these health risk behaviors that contribute to unhealthy lifestyles, and those that indicate possible depression or suicidal ideation are included. Okay, now that was just the statistics for youth. This will be coming from the trevorproject.org. I tend to gravitate more towards the .orgs. They also coincide with or agree with the second leading cause of death among young people ages 10 to 24 being suicide. The rate of suicide attempts is 4 times greater for LGB. They leave the T off, but LGB youth, and it's 2 times greater than for questioning youth than that of straight youth. Suicide attempts by LGB youth, questioning youth are 4 to 6 times more likely to result in injury, poisoning, or overdose that requires treatment from a doctor or nurse compared to their straight peers. Nearly half of young transgender people have seriously thought about taking their lives, and 1/4 report having made a suicide attempt. LGB youth who come from highly rejecting families are 8.4 times as likely to have attempted suicide as LGB peers who reported no or low levels of family rejection. 1 out of 6 students nationwide, grades 9 through 12, seriously considered suicide in the past year. Each episode of LGBT victimization, such as physical or verbal harassment or abuse, increases the likelihood of self-harming behavior by 2.5 times on average. Now, that's just a few statistics for you. And now I want to get into the signs. If you hear a child saying things like, "I'd be better off dead. You don't have to worry about me for long. You'll be better off without me around." I'm going to kill myself. Straight up, I'm going to kill myself. I hate my life. Suicide threats are not always verbal. Sometimes you can read a Facebook post and realize that something just does not set right, something doesn't sound right. A lot of times after something has happened to someone, or they do pass away, or usually you can go back and you can read posts that they've written in the last few months, weeks, years, and realize that they were battling with something. And it's always like, hindsight is 20/20. But if you know what you're looking at, then you can possibly save a life. Sometimes some of the most creative people struggle with some of the hardest battles. So you have someone who is a poet or a singer or an artist, and instead of telling you that they're feeling suicidal, they may just draw pictures, they may write song lyrics that express those feelings. And you have to really be paying attention. And I understand everybody doesn't have an eye for the same things I have an eye for, but colors represent so much. Shapes represent so much. Ways of knowing that someone is depressed, sudden, abrupt changes in personality, expressions of hopelessness and despair, declining grades and school performance, lack of interest in activities once enjoyed, increased irritability and aggressiveness, withdrawal from family and friends and relationships, and a lack of hygiene, changes in eating and sleeping habits. Yeah, sometimes when they're thinking about doing this, they even go through with the final arrangements. So you'll see giving away of prized and favorite possessions and putting their affairs in order, saying goodbye to family and friends, making funeral arrangements. Other signs could be experiencing the death of a lost one, or the loss of a loved one, a relationship or a job, etc. Increased use of alcohol or drugs, feelings of loneliness and abandonment, separation or divorce of parents, feelings of shame, guilt, and humiliation and rejection. Emotional stress and difficulties may result in physical complaints such as headaches, stomach aches, loss of energy, taking excessive risks, being reckless, in real or serious trouble, especially for the first time, problems staying focused or paying attention. And so a lot of people, y'all may be like, well, that's your typical youth of today. They're all like that. They can't focus on one thing. They can't. So what are we going to do about it? Because if that's our typical youth, how much longer will we just act like they don't matter? So I say this with all the sincerity in me. You matter. I matter. And we can matter together. But we're not going to take our lives. We're going to fight and we're going to stand our ground to be here. Because we deserve it. We deserve it. I love you. Thank you for watching. Please rate, comment, subscribe. See you tomorrow.